Hello everyone, welcome back to the Java tutorial series. In this video, we will learn about this keyword in Java. We will understand what it is, why it is used, and explore different use cases with different practical examples. Okay, so let's get started. So, what is this keyword? This keyword, okay, this is a keyword. It is a keyword in Java. Okay, so this is a keyword in Java and it is a reference variable. Reference variable means it is referring to some object. Okay, so as we already know, reference variable, let's say student s1 equals to new student. So this is an object since we are using new keyword. So this is an object and this is reference variable. Reference variable. Why? Because this variable is referring to an object. That's why it is in reference variable, and where it will sit, it will be sitting in the stack memory, reference variable, and object will be sitting in the heap memory. Okay, and this, what will be the value of reference variable in the stack? Reference variable will hold the memory location of the object, and that's why it will reference to that particular object. Okay, so we are reading about this keyword in Java. So this is a keyword in Java and it is a reference variable. That means this will refer to some object. Okay, and it refers to the current object. Okay, current, and it can be used inside constructor and methods both. So we can use this keyword to refer the current object inside constructor as well as inside methods. So this keyword refers to the current object of the class, and whenever an object calls a method or constructor, Java automatically provides a reference to that object using this keyword. Okay. Now, why do we need this? Why are we using this keyword? So first let's understand the problem, what it is. Okay. So here in this example, class student, this is what instance variable. Okay. This is what constructor parameter. Correct? So inside student class, we have one property, or you can say instance variable, and inside class we have one parameterized constructor with parameter name. Okay. Now here in this example, in this line, you can say name equal to name. Okay, but compiler will get confused. What is this name and what is this name? What name we are assigning to which name? Compiler will get confused. So we need to explicitly provide, okay, we need to explicitly say the compiler which name is what. Okay, so here both the instance variable and constructor parameter have the same name. Java gives priority to the local variable. So the instance variable never gets assigned, resulting in a null value. So priority is for local variable. Okay. So if we use like this, instance variable will never get assigned. Okay. So in this statement, instance variable will never get assigned. Why? Because priority goes to local variable. So this is the problem here. We cannot mention like this, name equals to name. Okay. So what is the solution then? How we will overcome this problem? So what we will do? So first understand what is this. Just now we have seen. This will refer to current object. Why? Because this is reference variable. This is reference variable and it will refer to current object. Okay. So this is what is student class. Okay. So let's say student s1 equals to new student and we are passing, let's say, wiki. Now when this method will get executed, this object will be getting created in the heap memory and this object will have instance variable. Okay, during object creation only this will have instance variable, that is name equals to. So this statement will execute parameterized constructor in student class. So here we have student class and this one is parameterized constructor. So this will get executed. So what is the value of name? Wiki. We have provided here. See. So this name will come here in the parameter. And this student we have as instance variable. This is what inside object what we have. This is object, right? And name is instance variable. So inside object we have instance variable and this is value which we passed, that is in constructor parameter. So this value wiki should be assigned to the instance variable, that is here instance variable and this is constructor parameter. So when this line is getting executed, this value should be assigned to instance variable which is sitting inside the object. Everything is happening inside during object creation only. During object creation, values are getting assigned to the instance variable. But here we cannot mention like name equal to name. So for instance variable, what we write? We write this dot name. What does it mean? This refer to current object. Okay, so this will refer to current object. This will refer to this object. And how do we access the property of an object? Using dot operator. We have seen. Okay, so this means this object and dot name. What is the instance variable of this object? Name. How do we access this? Using this dot name, using dot operator. So this is the instance variable and what we are assigning to the instance variable, the value which we have passed has come to the constructor parameter and this value is assigning to the instance variable. Okay, so here name will become wiki. So instance variable name has value wiki now. So the job of parameterized constructor is to assign value whatever we passed here So that value should be assigned to the instance variable, and where that instance variable is sitting in the object, inside object. But here to distinguish between this name and name, we use this keyword. So this will refer to the current object. This is the current object. And how do we access the instance variable? Using dot operator. So this dot name equals to name. I hope it is clear. So by writing this dot name, we are referring to the instance variable of the current object. The value from the constructor parameter is correctly assigned to the objects field. Okay. Let's see the uses of this keyword. So in different contexts, we use this keyword. Okay. So what are those contexts? So this refer to current objects instance variable. Just now we have seen current objects. Okay, current objects instance variable. Okay, student. What was the object? Student. What was the instance variable? Name. So for this context, we have used this keyword. And another usage is invoke current class method. If current class has any method, then we can use simply this dot, that method name. Directly we can call invoke, or we can say call. We can directly call the method present inside the class using this keyword, this dot method name. Okay. Similarly, we can invoke current class constructors. Okay. Suppose we have constructors, student. We already know method overloading, right? Constructor overloading. So there can be multiple constructor inside one class. So let's say we have two constructor inside the same class, and I want to invoke or call this constructor inside this constructor. So I will write here this dot student, like that. So we can invoke or call current class constructors. Okay. We can pass current object as a method argument, and we can pass current object as a constructor argument. Okay, so we can pass also the current object. What is the current object? This dot? No, only this will pass. So let's say we have some method display, and we can pass this like this. So this will refer to current object. And likewise, we did in method argument, we can do in constructor argument also. So this overall, this refers to current object. Okay, even if you are not getting, don't worry. We will see examples and have a better clarity what we are referring here. Okay, so let's go to IntelliJ and have some examples to make our understanding better. So what we are learning here, this keyword. Okay, now let's say I will create one class. Okay, I will create one class, Java class called demo. Now inside demo class, I will create one method. So class has property and behavior. Behavior means method. So I will define one method. Okay, void show. Inside this method, I will print simply show method. Okay, show method. That's it. Now I will define one more method, void display. Okay, void display, and I will call here this dot show, and I will create one main method to run the program. Public static void main. Okay, string array arguments. What is happening here? A string. Okay, and string. So, and now here I will create one object of demo class demo d equals to new demo. Okay, and I will invoke the display method. Display. Now we will understand what I have written so far. So I have created one demo class. Okay, and since class have properties and behaviors or methods, I have defined one method called show. What it is doing? It is printing show method. That's it, nothing else. Now I have defined one more method, display. So what I want to do inside display, I want to call show method. I want to call show method here. Show method is defined in the class, in the same class, right? In the same class, we have another method called show. And I want to call this show method inside another method, which is display. So how can I call one method into another method into the same class? So the answer is using this keyword. So I can directly call this show method using this dot show, like that. So I have created one main method. In the main method, I have created an object of this class, and using the object reference, I have called this method display. So how the execution flow, try to understand how the execution flow. Okay, so line number 16 will execute, then it will call this method, display method. Then in line number 11 it will execute show method, then execution will go to line number 5 6 7. Okay, 6, then again it will print this method. Then after printing this method, again it will come back to line number 11 12, then again it will come back to line number 16, then 17 and 18. So this is the execution flow. Okay, so if I run this program, the output will be show method, as simple as that. See, show method. But you might be saying, okay, method call we understood how it is calling, but how do we know that exactly it is happening? So let me run in the debug mode. I will show you how the execution flow. I have not added any method. Okay, now I'm running in debug mode. Okay, focus on blue line. Current execution is on blue line. Okay, I am explaining you the execution flow, how the code, how the different methods are calling each other. So current execution is at blue, line number 16. We are calling here display method, so it should go in the display method. Okay, so I'm executing. See, from line number 16 it went to the line number 11. Now in the line number 11, in the inside display method, we are calling show method. Now I'm running. Next execution will go to the line number 6. See, then so far I will check the console. See, nothing is there in the output so far. Now I will execute line number 6. See, in the output it printed show method. Now again it will go back 8. See, from show it went to display, and from display it will go to main method, and that's how program completed. So this is the execution flow. Okay, So execution flow is fine, but in this video we are learning this keyword. Okay, so how can we call the same method? How can we call the method inside another method in the same class using this keyword? Now we will see one more example of this keyword. I am creating one more class, student. So this is student class. I am creating one constructor, student. So this is constructor. So constructor name is same as the class name. Okay, and let me create one more constructor here, student, and parameterize constructor. I want to create parameterize string name. Okay, and I will print here. I will do nothing. I will print name. That's it. And inside this method, inside this constructor, I will call. See, we have two constructors. This is constructor overloading. Now I want to call this constructor inside this constructor. How I will call using this keyword this, and I will pass the parameter name Vicky. So that's how we can call one constructor into the another constructor, and I will print here saying that this is default constructor. Okay, now I will write one main method to run the program. Main string areas. Okay, and here what I will do, here I will simply create an object just to execute. Okay, student, that's it. It is saying error, but okay, I will avoid this thing, student as equals to. Okay, so in this line what is happening, object creation, and during object creation it will call default constructor, this method, and this method first line is this keyword. This means it will execute the constructor with one parameter, so it will go, execution will go in this line. It will print the name, and again it will come back to the line number 6, and after line number 6 it will print line number 7. So the output will be first Vicky, then default constructor. Let's verify. See, Vicky and then default constructor. So using this keyword we can call one constructor inside another constructor. That is the concept. Okay, so we have demo class. Okay, I will do, I will delete this one. I will create another void display. I am creating one method inside demo class, and I am taking one parameter object, and here I am printing object received. So this is example for passing method, current object, passing current object. Okay, passing current object. How do we pass current object? So here we are passing, let's say current object this. That's it, I think. Yeah, that should work. Now here what we'll call show method, d.show. So what we are doing here in the class demo, we have created two methods called display and dash show, and we have created one main method. So inside main method we have one object reference d, and we are calling show method. So execution will go from 15 to line number 9. Inside show method what we are doing, we are calling display method, and inside display what we are passing, this. So what this reference? This is a reference variable. Which object it will refer to? This object, new demo. Why? Because show method is being called from the object reference d.show. So this is current object, and we have called so the current object is d, and we are passing this, means this refer to current object, that is d, and d is referring to new demo. So we are passing display method this object. So display object received this object, and it is printing object received. So this is the execution flow, and the main concept is passing current object using this keyword. Okay, so this is the main concept we are learning here. So let's run the program, and output should be object received. See, in the output we can see object received. So we can pass current object using this keyword. Likewise, we can return an current object. Okay, how can we return current object? Let me write one method. In the same class I will write demo get object. Okay, get object, and I will write here return this, and I will call here d dot get object. Okay, dot display. Okay, I have not defined. I will define one method display. Void display, and here I will write current object returned. Okay, here we will write like display. Okay, what we are doing in this example, we are returning an object. See this method get object, and what is the return type? Return type is the demo class. Okay, see, so the whatever we are returning, that should be of object of class demo. We are returning this. So let's start from main method. We created one method, we have created one object demo. So d is object reference. So from d we are calling get object. What get object is returning? Current object. This. What is current object? D only. Then again with this object we are calling display method. And what display will print? Current object returned. So the output will be current object returned. Let's verify. See, current object returned. But the concept here is we are returning current object using this keyword. Okay. So I have shown you whatever we have mentioned here. I have shown just now the examples for each of the points. Okay, if you think like you have missed some points or you are still not clear, just watch this video again so that you will have better understanding on this keyword, how we are using, how we are passing, how we are returning, how we are calling current class constructor, how we are calling current class method, how we are passing current object, how we are returning current object. So I have shown you all the examples. Okay. Now the important points which needs to be take care is this keyword refers to current object. Okay. It cannot be used inside a static method because static methods belong to the class, not an object. Okay, what does it mean? So think of it like we have one method and we have defined that method as static. Okay, and static methods are associated with the class. That's why it is written, because static methods belong to the class, not an object. So static methods are associated with class. I will write here, associated with class, not an object. But this keyword is associated with what? Object. Associated with what? Object. That's why we cannot use, this keyword cannot be used inside a static method. Okay, don't worry if you didn't get this point. We will learn in the static. I will create one more video for the static. We'll see in detail for the static concept of static, because there are different pointers. Okay, so next point is this calls another constructor in the same class. We have seen the example of this one. So we can call one constructor from the another constructor using this keyword. And this are different. Okay, we have seen in the examples. You can revisit the examples and you will find out the difference we have used. So to invoke the fields, we use dot operator, this dot name, this dot age, like that. And if we are using in the inside constructor, we will use this one. Okay, just revisit the example. You will catch these points. Okay, that's all for this video. I hope this tutorial helped you to understand the different concepts and uses of this keyword in Java. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.